Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So EX2 is releasing on Friday. I am ecstatic for this set. Tamers is my all-time favorite season of Digimon, so this has all of my favorite stuff in it. I am just over beyond the moon for this set. We've got Gallantmon and Beelzemon, two of my top 3 favorite Digimon, all in one set, and they're actually kind of like some of the best stuff in the set. Today we're going over every single card in this set. Now this set is a smaller set, so I'm going to just throw it all in here into one video, and I'll put timestamps for each color in case you're only interested in one color. You can just go to that timestamp. Don't forget, our new memory marker this month is Neromon, though, that you can find this on our Etsy store, link in the description below. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, hand-painted as well. Great memory marker for any sort of yellow deck. You got your Ophanimons and your Mastaemons all coming off of this little girl, little guy, Digimon. Very, very cute. Also on that Etsy page, you can find all of our previous memory markers that we've had on the channel, like our Tamer stuff, like our Gigimon, our Yaomon, and Viximon, and very, very soon, our Gummimon also. Alright, so let's go ahead and kick this off. Let's just start with red. It's always the first one. We got Gigimon as a new egg. This is fantastic. So when attacking, if you have Guilmon, Growlmon, or Gallantmon in the name, you draw one. This is fantastic. You combine this with the promo Guilmon that when attacking, draw one, and that's a draw 2 off of that. Really cool tech card, or tech kind of just, if you never need your babies and you just want to run some red stuff, a great combination there is Gigimon and Guilmon together. This is just a great card for the deck. Koromon already there for the Greymon line, and now Gigimon's got it also for the Guilmon. So great stuff. Speaking of Guilmon, we got a new one here, a Searcher for the Archetype. Thank you. I'm all about it. All about searchers. I think every archetype needs a searcher, on-play searcher, rookie. So on-play reveal 4, and you can add a Growlmon or Gallantmon and a Tocado. So you get your Tamer and anything you're missing in your Evo line. Fantastic searcher for sure. Love this Guilmon. And then it has the inheritable of when attacking, if this Digimon has Growlmon or Gallantmon in the name, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP or less. And that's going to be kind of the trend with this whole Gallantmon line, is all about just controlling your opponent's board by deleting your opponent's Digimon. And there is a lot of deleting your opponent's field. So pretty neat inheritable on this fantastic searcher rookie. Altart there. And then we got Growlmon for our level 4, 2 Evo costs, pretty standard stuff, 5000 DP. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 2000 DP or less. If you have a Red Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. And then has the same inheritable basically as the Guilmon, but this one is delete one of your opponents with 3000 DP or less. So really seeing a trend here. Next we got the War Growlmon to go with it at 3 Evo cost, level 5, pretty standard stuff. 8000 DP, a little low. I think I would like to see it at 9000, but 8000 with a really good effect isn't too bad. When attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP or less. If you have a Tamer in play, you can delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6000 DP or less. Okay, and then inheritable, your turn, add 1000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DP based deletion effects as the inheritable. So you can bump up your Guilmon here to 4000, as well as your Growlmon here to 4000 pop effects here. Pretty solid. And then Gallantmon also, your turn, he gets a 2k DP buff, putting him up to 14,000. 4 Evo cost is a little steep, but we'll cover it in just a second. Our Tamer gives all of our whole Evo line Blitz. So all these Evo costs that seem like they're a little steep, it's okay when you combine them with Blitz. So we have all these when attacking abilities with Blitz is fantastic. And then your turn, while you have a Red Tamer in play, add 2000 to the maximum DP you can choose with DP based deletion effects. So you combine that with the War Growlmon, and your Guilmon and Growlmon here are now popping 6000 DP Digimon each. So each one of those, that's a double pop there. And then Gallantmon himself, when attacking, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total DP adds up to 6000 DP or 6000 or less, and delete them. Now it says 6000, but remember you're adding 2 for his own effect. So then that's actually 8,000, and if you can combine it with War Groundmon, it's actually 9,000 DP that you can do, and it's total. So you can do like 2K here, 3K here, 4K here. You know, you can like spread it out and get multiple pops with this Gallantmon. Now 4K is, you know, up steep, but again, we're going to be giving him Blitz with our Tamer. And then we got a new Megidramon here. Is 5 Evo cost, 13,000 DP. The name of this card in slash Digimon is also treated as Chaos Gallantmon, which is really interesting. I'm not really sure what the theme is. I guess it's just kind of future proofing it a little bit. I can't remember if there's anything specifically that triggers off a Chaos Gallantmon things. But then when Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10,000 DP or less. If he's Evo's on top of War Groundmon, it's going to be 11,000 DP or less. If no Digimon was deleted by this effect, trash the top 5 cards of both players' deck. That's pretty crazy. And then on deletion, you can play a Guilmon and one Tocado from your hand and or trash without paying their memory cost. I'm not a huge fan of this card overall. I don't think, like, the on deletion effect, like playing out a Guilmon, okay, sure, he's a floater, but playing out a Tocado, like, I probably already got a Tocado in play. Now, Tocado does have another benefit of gaining us a little bit of memory, but, like, it's not, like, too crazy of an on deletion effect. Like, I don't know why I would have a Tocado in trash other than maybe his, like, when Digivolving effect maybe trashed one. I don't know. If 5 Evo cost is pretty steep for, I don't feel like the payoff is that big. 5 Evo cost and, like, the 10,000 DP or less, I mean, lots of things can avoid that. I mean, that's not that big of a pop. In general, so I'm not like a huge fan of the Megidramon here. I think running just the new Gallantmon and the old Gallantmon together is pretty solid. But Tocado here is pretty fantastic. 3 play cost Tamer. Your turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, you may suspend this Tamer to gain 1 memory. So all those blitzing, so you're going to blitz and then delete something with an effect and then probably get a security check. You can then suspend this Tocado and gain 1 memory. If you got multiple Tocados on play, you can suspend multiples and gain multiple memory back. So that's kind of how you can reduce the Evo cost in a way, kind of mitigate those high Evo costs a little bit is with the Tocado here. And then yeah, so when one of your turn, when one of your Digimon would Digivolve into a Digimon with Gallantmon or Groundmon in its name, that Digimon gains when Digivolving Blitz. So yeah, really cool Tamer. Like the whole, it's very well thought out. I really like the whole Evo line. I think it's very well done. We've got offensive plugin for red here. All the offensive plugins have the same thing. While you have a Tamer in play, you may use this card without meeting its color requirements. So these are great because you can, any deck that has Tamers, you can just use these plugin cards of all different colors and you can just fit them in. So that's really nice. So any deck now can have one of your Digimon gain security attack +1 for 2 play costs. That's not bad. Think of this on something like, I don't know, something that's going to be attacking multiple times in 1 turn, you know, that might be in the meta already, like Pyldramon swing, unsuspend, swing again, Digivolve into fighter mode, unsuspend with a duo tamer, a swing 2 more times. I mean, all that with security attack +1, that's pretty crazy. You combine that with hidden potential, yeah, that's nuts. So yeah, really cool that you get to work this into any deck now. And then security effect, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer card among them to your hand. So that's what it is. It's and then you get to add this card to your hand. So search a Tamer, top 3 cards of your deck, search a Tamer. Cool, because you know you need a Tamer to be able to activate this, so kind of important if you don't have one already. You know, especially in a non-red deck, being able to try to get that Tamer out extra quickly so you can then play this card, pretty important. So yeah, a very well balanced card, I think. Like all these cards are very well thought out in how they play and interact. Next we got Fireball, 2 play cost, very cool artwork. I really like it. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3,000 DP or less. If an opponent's Digimon wasn't deleted by this, draw 2. Security, activate this. Not bad. I mean, cheap removal if you really need it, but 2 play cost, draw 2, also not bad at all. Argument though that Rowdy Rocker might be a little bit better, just depending. Then next we got the first secret rare of the set in Gallantmon Crimson mode. Fantastic looking card. 6 Evo cost, pretty big, but it is a level 7, so that's pretty standard. 15,000 DP. These are all pretty standard numbers for level 7s here. Now remember, we can give him Blitz, though, with Tocado, so that's pretty awesome. But when Digivolve and delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP, so that's kind of like the black card, the Iron Fisted Onslaught, really cool stuff. Highest DP, so if it's multiple things that all have the same DP, you know, you get to delete all those things. Really cool stuff. So really punish your opponent for going wide with the same mega. And then when attacking, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. That's it. You just automatically get to do that. And then add 1 to the number of cards trashed by this effect for every 10 cards in your opponent's trash. In theory, by the time you get a level 7 on board that's attacking, your opponent should, in theory, probably at least have 10 cards in trash, more than likely. So it's almost a guaranteed, like, trashing 2. This card late game is fantastic. You can this is almost like Blitz Omnimon. You can just swing with the Crimson mode at the player. His effect will trash their security, and if they have no more security left, when his attack goes in, you win. So that's really great. Moving on, though, we'll go ahead and jump into blue now. I guess first we should cover the baby. We got a new Xiaomon here. All turns while this Digimon is level 4, it gets 1000 DP. I think this is a cool card for Armor Rush. So all your Vmon Armor Rush could get use out of this, being all level 4s. I don't know if you want to give up your draw cards like Upamon, though. So that's kind of the like trade-off. This might be your 5th egg. You can go for Upamon, and instead of playing like something like a Demi Vmon, you could drop that for the Xiaomon. I think that'd be, you know, pretty fair. Next, for our first rookie, we don't really have any sort of Evo specialty line in this one like all the other colors have. We just have some really cool, neat blue stuff. Labramon here, 1000 DP, 0 Evo cost, 3 play cost. When attacking, inheritable here, once per turn. If this Digimon has jamming, gain 1 memory. Okay, not too bad there. In an Imperial deck, you know, XVmon, pretty good target there for XVmon, I think. If you didn't want to run all Vmons, I suppose. Yeah, lots of jamming in blue, so that's not too bad there. Next we got Ice Devimon. Yeah, if you want to do that accent, go for it. If you ever saw the English dub of this guy. 2 Evo cost, 4 play cost, not too bad. 4000 DP. When attacking, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon with no Digivolution cards to its owner's hands. A lot of blue kind of shenanigans there that we're kind of used to seeing. We got a new level 4 jamming Digimon. 6000 DP on a jamming is actually a bit of a surprise there. 2 Evo cost, pretty standard. So that's pretty neat. I like the versatility there. If you're going to be playing those level 4s with jamming, having one with higher DP to swing over like past blockers and stuff that might be in the way, that's really cool. So if you ever want to do any sort of jamming shenanigans, that's actually a pretty nice combination there of cards available. We got a new Gorillamon, 2 Evo cost on this one, but has an on play for 6 play cost, pretty steep. You may play a level 3 Digimon card from one of your blue Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying its memory cost. So we've kind of seen some of this sort of stuff before, like with the Waymon and the Waymon option card, things like that. I guess that was last set, or maybe it was the set before, maybe it was BT7. We saw a lot of cards with like shenanigans like this, being able to play out stuff from sources. It's okay. 6 play cost is a little steep, though. I guess if you're playing him out from underneath something for free, and then his effect then plays something out for free, that's not too bad. Now we get a new Leomon. This is really cool. This is a super rare, so it should, in theory, be good. 2 Evo cost, only 4000 DP, but it's Leomon. You know what's coming. Opponent's turn, while you have a Tamer in play, this Digimon gains Blocker. So very thematic there of wanting to defend Jerry to the bitter end, unfortunately, and on deletion at the bitter end here, gain 2 memory and draw 1. So I just think this is a fantastic like power creep of the old Leomon. Old Leomon was just what, you gain 2 memory on deletion. This is you draw a card and he can potentially be a tamer. Like, this Leomon is pretty awesome. I really like it. It's just a generic level 4 to kind of splash into really any sort of blue deck. That's a really cool just tech card. Next, we got a new duo color in the form of Marine Angemon. This is only a rare, sadly, but I feel like this will look really good as a rare even still. I've seen like some pictures of this card in real life. It actually looks really nicely foiled. 4 evo cost on blue or yellow, pretty steep. And then on play for 11, also steep. For each of your opponent's Digimon with no Digivolution cards, recover 1. This effect can't increase the number of cards in your security stack to 6 or more. So, 11 play cost for recovery, and it's restricted to only if they have no Digivolution sources. I just can't get behind this card at all. In this game, anything that costs this much to play, I mean, I don't care if I'm recovering back 4. I mean, I give my opponent maxed memory. They're probably going to clear them anyways. So, yeah, pretty brutal of a card. Jumping down to blue here, we got some new tamers here. We got Kenta here for 2 play costs. It's been a while, I feel like, since we've had some good 2 play cost tamers. Your turn, when you would play a Marine Angemon from your hand, reduce the play cost by 1. Okay, so it's a 10 play cost, still very expensive. Your turn, when you play a blue Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to trash the bottom Digivolution cards of one of your opponent's Digimon. Then if the Digimon played is Marine Angemon, trash the bottom Digivolution card of all your opponent's Digimon. So that makes it a little bit better. It's still very expensive. You really need like multiple Kentas on field before you play that Marine Angemon, and that's a lot of setup. That's a lot of dependent on your opponent having a lot of things on field. That's also dependent on your opponent having just kicked your butt and like lost a lot of security, and then you're playing it to recover. Like this is a whole bunch of setup to say, I'm getting my butt kicked. I'm not going to build a deck around me getting my butt kicked just to recover a bit. Like I'm not gonna build a deck like that. I'm sorry. Like I like it in theory. It all works together, but I'm just not. There's no way. Now we got a Jerry here. 4 play cost, pretty steep for a non-memory fixer. But you can replay a Leomon from your hand without paying its memory cost. That's not too bad. 4 play cost, you can play out a bunch of Leomons. Now, it's not Leomon in the name, sadly, so you can't play out like the level 6s or anything like that. It has to be specifically Leomon. And then opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon attacks, you may suspend this tamer to draw 1. That's kind of neat, though. You get a lot of draws off of that Jerry there. And then into our blue options here, we have a new plugin for this one. This one's going to give you jamming and can't be blocked by your opponent's Digimon. That's huge. I've actually seen this come up more than the jamming. The jamming is cool, but can't be blocked by your opponent's Digimon. Oh my god, that's a game winner right there. So I really like this card. Again, if you have a tamer in play, you can ignore the colors. And security, draw 1, and then add it to your hand. So I love that these all add to hand. I love when options trigger some sort of ability. It doesn't have to be necessarily the actual play ability, but some sort of neat ability that can actually benefit me when it's my opponent's turn. That's not dependent on something my opponent has, like Fire Rocket deleting opponent's Digimon with blocker, like on their turn. Like, okay, a lot of stuff is only blocker on my turn. Like, if I needed to delete a blocker, I needed to delete a blocker during my own turn. So I don't understand Fire Rocket for that. But this being able to add to hand and draw a card is really cool. Really good game design. Really cool card. Next, we got Fist of the Beast King, another 2 play cost option. I really like it. While you have a Digimon with Beelzemon in its name in play, you can use this card without meeting its color requirements. Very cool. Like, you don't need to do that for any reason. Unsuspend one of your Digimon with Leomon or Beelzemon in its name. That's really cool because Beelzemon in the name, it can be your level 7 blast mode and you can swing again with that. That's really cool. It's also very thematic that, you know, you can use Fist of the Beast King because he does it in the anime. And that's straight up, you know, what this whole set is about is like completely based on the anime. And so very cool that they went and did that. I really appreciate them for that. Now, security, activate this card's main effect. Unsuspend on one of my Digimon during my opponent's turn. For Leomon, not so bad. If the Leomon has blocker, that's pretty nice. But if you're playing at a Beelzemon deck, almost feels like a waste a bit. And that's it for our blue stuff. So we're going to jump up here to our yellows. Very excited for this. We got Viximon here. Your turn, once per turn, when you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, draw 1. So 2 or more. This deck is all about playing the plugins, and they're all 2 play cost, but as well as just yellow yellow uses typically a lot of options in general, so this is really cool. This gives me like the vibes of Doraemon in the X antibody decks. Every time you place a source, you know, you draw one. So you're using hand resources, and it's important to draw cards when you use hand resources. So again, fantastic game design, really cool. Our first rookie here is Renamon here. 3 play cost on this one. This is another one of our searchers. So just like the Guilmon that we saw before, reveal 4, add one of the Evo line, and also one of the Tamers in the form of Rika. So that's great. We got another in archetype searcher. They're really doing well. Bandai making cards like for archetype specific stuff like this. Very nice. I greatly appreciate them giving all of these different archetypes their own searchers. Your turn, once per turn, inheritable here. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, gain 1 memory. So you can essentially reduce the play cost of these option cards. But what we're going to get into a little bit, when you use them for free, this is just a plus, a free gain memory. So this gives me like vibes like Patamon, right? Patamon, when you delete your opponent's Digimon through DP minusing, gain a memory. So it's like when you go like Rapidmon for 4, if you go on top of Patamon, you know, it's almost like Rapidmon for 3. If you have a memory fixer on field, that works out great. This kind of gives me vibes like that. So gain 1 memory back, really, really nice stuff here. Especially like if your opponent puts you to 1 and it's your turn, you play your option card, your plug-in for 2. It would normally pass turn, but since you got Renamon, you actually gain 1, or you know, gain 1 back. So it's like, oh, it's still my turn. I got to use my plug-in at least. Very cool stuff. We also have a Lopmon in here. It was technically in the anime. Didn't do as much as the others though. But on play, if you have 3 or fewer security and Shu Wong, this should be Suzy, in play recovery 1. So that's cool. A 3 play cost recovery. Now, they're like future proofing here. If you have 3 or fewer security, I know we're all so tired of yellow decks being able to recover up to like 7, 8, 9 security. It's insane. So this being able to, you know, be a little bit more restrictive, I like that. 3 play cost recovery 1. I mean, yeah, you need Suzy in play, but still, that's really, really great. Next, we got Cubimon here. This is our level 4 of the Renamon line. 2 Evo cost, 5,000 DP. When Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 option card with plug-in and its name among them to your hand. Place remaining cards on the bottom of the deck. And then inheritable of your turn once per turn. When you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 DP for the turn. So we are doing some DP minusing also. So yeah, the deck is clearly built around like using these plug-in cards and doing like, you know, you're searching out your Evo line with Renamon, and then you're going to Evo into the Cubimon here, and then you're going to search out your plugins, okay? But then it's like, oh, every time I use these plugins for doing like these offensive things, I'm also doing some yellow stuff. You know, we got some DP minusing going on here. I don't think we got any sort of recovery. I could be wrong, but yeah, doing DP minusing still, I really dig it. Next, we got Antilamon to go with that Lopmon there. Even in the same like art style there, like how fantastic is that? You can see her in the background there, and the Lopmon in front. And then they like kind of, you know, switched it up a little bit here. Same art style though, really cool stuff. If you have a Suzy in play, your Lopmon can Digivolve into this card in your hand for a Digivolution cost of 3. So just skip the level 4 entirely. That's great. And then when attacking once per turn, you may trash the top card of your security stack to unsuspend this Digimon. Not a fan of that. I mean, 7,000 DP to attack a second time, like, ooh. Like, and the worst part is, it's just like, what is it, War Greymon, right? When you attack with War Greymon, you have to use the effect before you see the security check. Ugh, that's always scary, because you don't know if you're going to die or not. Next, we got Taomon, though. So when Digivolving, you may play 1 Rika from your hand without paying its memory cost. That's so cool. I love being able to play Tamers for free, and this is when Digivolving, so even if it passes turn, I can still do it. 3 Evo cost, you know, it's pretty standard for a level 5. This whole Evo chain, just like, it's all about setting up, and you're just setting up for free, not for free, but it's so efficient, right? So I've got Renamon searching my Evo chain and my Rika to make sure I get my Rika. And then I'm going to go into the Cubimon. I'm going to make sure I get my plugin, okay? Get that ready to use. Then I'm going to go into my Talmon, and that's going to let me play the Rika for free. So it's like I'm skipping steps, right? It's like I'm not doing one step at a time. I'm doing 2 steps at a time. Every time I do a play, it's a second play for free on top of it. Really cool stuff. And then this is another inheritable of here of your turn once per turn when you use an option card, which a play cost 2 or more. One of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2,000 CP for the turn. So we got Cubimon and Talmon. That's going to be a minus 4K. And then this is our boss monster for the deck, Sakuyamon, 3 Evo cost. Pretty solid stuff there. 11,000 DP, a little low, but not too bad. When Digivolving, unsuspend one of your Digimon. And for each tamer you have in play, return 1 option card with plugin in its name from your trash to your hand. Some really cool plays I've seen is people use the jamming on Talmon, swing with Talmon with that jamming, and then they Digivolve into Sakuyamon, unsuspend. Sakuyamon still has the jamming, and then you can add the jamming back to hand or a different one of your plugins. It's great stuff here, and it just like cycles it all back, and then you can attack again with the Sakuyamon. Fantastic. Your turn, when you use an option card with a play cost of 2 or more, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3,000 DP for the turn. So if you got the 4 on the other from the other 2, and then the 3 from this, that's minus 7. So yeah, your 11,000 DP might be a little bit low, but that's okay because you're going to be able to at least lower your opponent's Digimon enough to swing over them if you need to swing over them. Minus 7K on them. 11,000 should be able to swing over them, I would hope. Next, I do want to jump over here to Rika first. Memory Fixer. So for play cost, we do have a Memory Fixer, which I think is really important for this deck, that you need a Memory Fixer, because a lot of your Evo stuff here, like the Talmon being 3, the Sakuyamon being a 3. I think the Sakuyamon is the most important part, being a 3 Evo cost. You really need to be able to start your turn at 3 memory. And with Talmon playing out the Rika, that sets up for the following turn. Really good stuff. Then your turn, when you attack with a Digimon with Renamon, Cubimon, Talmon, or Sakuyamon in its name, you may suspend this tamer to use 1 option card with plugin in its name from your hand without paying its memory cost. Oh my god, that's so good. So you swing in with the Talmon, right? Talmon, so you Evo into the Talmon. Talmon plays out Rika for free. You swing with the Talmon. Rika plays the jamming card for free for you. So Talmon swinging in with jamming. Then you Digivolve into Sakuyamon. Sakuyamon unsuspends herself, adds the option card right back to set you up for any sort of future proofing. Rika is a monster, especially doing multiple Rikas. Like I've seen it where you can just like Rika after Rika after Rika. Just absurd stuff you can do. Now here is the Suzy here. 3 play cost. On play, you may play 1 Lotmon from your hand without paying its memory cost. Okay. Start of your turn, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, draw 1. Okay, I mean that's not too crazy here. And then security, play it for free. I haven't seen Suzy use it really in anything in general. I don't think the Lotmon stuff is all that great in general. Like Lotmon itself feels pretty good, except for you have to run the tamer to go with it to really get the good benefit. That's the only thing I really liked about the whole thing. I don't like the Antilamon. I don't like the Suzy all that much. It just doesn't get me as excited as some of these other effects that we got going on. Next, we got green, though. So we got Gummymon here. Your turn, once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon becomes unsuspended, draw 1. Or when an opponent becomes suspended, draw 1. So a lot of our effects here is suspending the opponent's Digimon. I mean, that's always what really Mega Garglemon's all been about. So draw 1. So again, just keeping that hand resources going. We got a new Terriermon here. So 0 Evo, 3 play, 1000 DP. Your turn, once per turn. When you play a green tamer, gain 1 memory. So this is really nice. I like this because I can go like Terriermon, promote up, play my tamer, and then I can go like Rapidmon on top of the Terriermon for a reduced cost, and I'll have a tamer on field, so like that feels really good. And by by Rapidmon, you know the Rapidmon I'm talking about. Like, let's not even pretend. You know what Rapidmon I'm talking about. And then has the inheritable your turn. Once returned, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gets 2,000 DP for the turn. Next, we got Gargomon here. 2 Evo cost, 5,000 DP. Your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve, if you have a green Tamer in play, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. That's pretty cool. That's very green, sort of reducing Evo costs. And then has the inheritable of your turn, once per turn, when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gets 2,000 DP for the turn. So we're seeing some trends here, right? Kind of same thing that we saw earlier with the Gilmon and the Growlmon, the same exact effects here. Next, we got Rapidmon, so we could be a 2 Evo cost here if we go on top of the new Gargomon. When Digivolving, if you have a green Tamer in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimons, and then we can get all those inheritables immediately to trigger, bumping your Rapidmon up to 11,000 DP potentially. And then has the inheritable of when an opponent's Digimon becomes suspended, this Digimon gains security attack +1 for the turn. So that's going to go into our, let's go ahead and go to Mega Gargomon here. 5 Evo cost is pretty huge, 13,000 DP. When Digivolving, for each Tamer you have in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. They don't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. When attacking, once return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP to its owner's hands. Now, this Digimon's DP could be really massive. Like with the Terriermon and the Gargomon, you know, you're looking at 17,000 DP here. He's bouncing anything he wants to the owner's hand. So that's pretty cool. Now, the tricky part is the when attacking. He is a pretty beefy 5,000 or 5 memory cost here, so you won't always be able to attack the same turn you Digivolve into him. Now, with the right Tamer setup, you can do it. It's just a little bit more tricky. You can't just like willy-nilly do it like super easily. But still not too bad. If you can attack the same turn, it's going to be huge because you're going to get the Rapidmon triggers and the Gargomon Terriermons and his own really, really powerful stuff. We do have this random include here of another level 6, 3 Evo cost Mega, 11,000 DP, end of attack. You may place this Digimon under one of your Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. Security attack +1, and your turn, this Digimon gets plus 2,000 DP. I don't get this one. A Mega? I feel like I'm missing something here. Like, what does this go with? Like, I have to Evo all the way up into this Mega, and then afterwards, it just gets bottom sourced. Like, that's a whole lot of resources I just had to go to get this guy on field, just to get it bottom to one of my other cards. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, like another strategy that this goes in later on, maybe, potentially. Next, jumping down to our greens here, we got Henry, which kind of brings the strategy together here. Start of your turn, he's a memory fixer, 4 play cost, pretty standard. Your turn, when you attack with a Digimon with Gargomon, Rapidmon in its name, you may suspend this Tamer to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So that really comes back into play with the Mega Gargomon here of when attacking, like when you attack, right, you how do you trigger all these inheritables? You have to suspend one of your stuff. If you can't do it the turn you Evo, you need to be able to suspend stuff on a later turn, on the follow-up turn afterwards. And Henry is your answer to that. Henry will suspend stuff, triggering all your inheritables to buff up your Mega Gargomon, and then you can use your when attacking Mega Gargomon effect with that massive DP and the security attack bonus and everything like that. He needs some piercing, though. Like, really, really missing the piercing here. You got the security attack, we're suspending stuff. I mean, I guess if you're mid-attack, you know, you have to pick your target before you attack. That's a bit of a bummer. Feels like it's lacking a little bit there in the control. Like, why am I suspending my opponent's Digimon, you know, as I'm attacking? So I'm attacking like security, and then they suspend. It's like, okay, well, I'm not really doing any actual real board control. I don't. It's awkward. We have another plugin though, so this is our green one. Draw one, then you may Digivolve one of your Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand that can Digivolve for a Digivolution cost of 3 or less without paying its Digivolution cost. That's really cool. So I really like this plugin with, again, with Rika. So Talmon, you Digivolve into Talmon, Talmon plays out the Rika. Talmon swings in, Rika uses her effect. Use the plugin S here to Digivolve immediately into a Sakuyamon, right? That's really cool to be able to do that. And then the Sakuyamon unsuspends, and the attack still goes through. Like, that's really great. Even if it passes turn, your Sakuyamon's unsuspended, so your opponent can't swing over it. Really cool card. All the plugins are really, really nice stuff. For sure. Next, we got black here in the form of Hotmon. Your turn, while you have a black tamer in play, this Digimon gets 1000 DP. This is all about tamers, so it kind of makes sense. It's kind of fitting there. We got black here in Monodramon, so 0 Evo, 3 play, 1000 DP. Seeing a big trend of that for our rookies here. On play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Add all black tamer cards among them to your hand. Place remaining cards on the bottom of your deck in any order. This is going to combo really great with our Justimon, because our Justimon, you really need a lot of black tamers in play to get good benefits. So kind of important there. The Monodramon actually works out really well in this. We got a new Guardramon here, blocker. On play, one of your opponents or one of your Digimon gets 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. So you can give this buff to himself, putting him at 7000 DP. 5 play cost, I think I would rather it be a 4 play cost. I mean, I guess this one can attack. I was thinking like, you know, what Mechanorimon. You know, he can unsuspend multiple times. He's a fantastic blocker. I don't know. I'm not, like, sold on the Guardramon here. We got Strike Dramon here for our level 4 of our Evo chain here. 2 Evo, 5 play, or 5000 DP. When Digivolving, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 black tamer card among them to your hand. So again, just searching out our tamers as much as possible here. And then when attacking once per turn, if you have 2 or more black tamers in play, gain 1 memory. Okay. Not too bad. I think the only problem with this is there's no searcher for like the Evo chain, right? We can't add any of the Dramons for our Evo chains here. Next we got Locomon, 3 Evo cost, level 5, 7000 DP. Your turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into a ground Locomon in your hand, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. Okay. I guess we'll go ahead and look at the ground Locomon here. 3 Evo cost, your turn. When this Digimon can't attack your opponent's Digimon. Okay. All turns, for each card in your trash with Cyborg or Machinist trait, this Digimon gets 1000 DP. Okay. Like, that's a lot of restriction for, like... Okay, he's a 2 Evo cost. I mean, I can pull out the 2 Evo cost vanillas, and that are going to be like 12,000 DP. That does not feel very good. I do not like that. Like, a lot of the game design has been great, except for that. Next, we had a new Andromon here. So 3 Evo, 6,000 DP. A little on the low side for a blocker here, but opponent's turn, all of your Digimon with blocker get 2,000 DP. So it actually goes up to 8,000. It's okay. I mean, it's not like the best. Blocker strategies are not in a good place right now. Unfortunately, not a overly big fan here. He's a cyborg type, but no inheritable, so we can't really get any good use out of him in like a Machine Dramon deck or a Chaos Dramon deck. So it is what it is. Next, we got Cyber Dramon here, looking awesome. Love this guy. 3 Evo cost, 10,000 DP, very nice. When Digivolving, play 1 Rio from your hand without paying its memory cost. This is fantastic. There's no restriction if you have a Rio in play already. It doesn't matter. You can just play out another one. That's fantastic. Because remember, we would do lots of searching and adding our black tamers, specifically Rio most of the time. So your turn, while you have no tamers in play, this Digimon can't attack players. It's very important to get a Rio in play as fast as possible. So getting to play 1 for free is really solid. And then when attacking inheritable here, this is a lot of text here. Once per turn, if you have 2 or more black tamers in play, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. It's not bad. I mean, and it's repeatable. You can use it every turn. That's pretty cool. We got Reapermon next. 4 Evo cost. Goodness. Has reboots, but so that means you got to swing with the level 5. Pray the level 5 survives, then Evo into this with reboot. Opponent's turn, once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon becomes unsuspended, de-digivolve 1 that Digimon. Dang, that's not too bad there. And it can be during their unsuspend phase. That's cool. So yeah, that's not too bad there. I kind of dig that. And then we got Justimon. He looks so cool. God, he looks so cool. I love Justimon. I mean, a lot of people don't like the Digimon that are like humanoid looking. I think this guy is super cool though, with the red scarf and everything. 3 Evo cost, 11,000 DP, not too bad. When Digivolving, activate one of these effects below. This Digimon gets 2,000 DP for the turn. Unsuspend this Digimon. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less. 5 or less, I mean, that's pretty solid. That's a pretty solid, like, picking from level 4s and stuff like that. And then when attacking once per turn for each tamer you have in play, activate this Digimon's when Digivolving effect. So that's really cool. So you can swing with the Cybergermon there with 10,000 DP, pretty solid. Then Digivolve into the Justimon, unsuspend, swing again, and then unsuspend again if you have a tamer in play. I mean, that's great because this, like, none of these here are once per turn, so you can keep using these, you know. Now this effect here is once per turn. The when attacking part is once per turn, but you know you could get technically you could get 3 swings out of this Evo stack. The Cybergermon gets 1 and then 2 off the Justimon. Really cool card. So we'll go ahead and jump down to our black tamers here. The Rio to go with it. On play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. Add 1 Drummon or Justimon. So this is going to be your searcher. 3 play cost, not too bad. He's not a memory fixer, which is a bummer. I kind of wish he was, but at the same time, since you have to play multiples, 4 Evo cost, memory fixer would be probably a little steep. Then your turn, when you attack with a black Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to have that Digimon gain 1,000 DP until the end of your opponent's turn. Until the end of the opponent's turn, that's actually pretty great. So helps keep your stuff alive a little bit easier there. So your Cybergermon here are going to go up to 11,000 DP, and then you're going to bump up your Justimon also here. It's going to keep that DP buff, so it's going to be 12,000. Like, these are pretty solid strategies. I'm really liking Justimon. I think it's really cool stuff. Next we got Kazu here, 3 play cost, start of your main phase. If you have a Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its traits, gain 1 memory. So this is kind of neat. We actually have some sort of semi-dedicated Machinedramon support tamer. And then all turns, when one of your Digimon with Cyborg or Machine in its traits becomes suspended, you may suspend this tamer to draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. Yeah, so more consistency also for that deck. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. No black options either, so no yellow and no black so far. The black one surprises me. Like, the yellow I get because they use all the other plugins for free. No black is a little bit surprised. I thought we'd see some sort of Justimon option card. Sadly, we do not. Almost to the end here, we got Yaomon for purple. Your turn, while there are 10 or more cards in trash, this Digimon gets 2,000 DP, so very similar to the old Yaomon that also gave a DP buff. Nothing too fantastic there. Next we got the new Impmon, and this whole Beelzemon line is insane. So on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with Beelzemon in its name, and 1 Iron Mako. So this is going to be your searcher. Again, we got another searcher. I'm loving it. And it's, picking up the Beelzemon and the Iron Mako. That's really great. Now, this part here, when this card is trashed from your deck, if it wasn't trashed by the EX2 Impmon effect, that's this one here, you may trash up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. So basically how that works is, say the old Impmon on deletion trash the top 3 cards of your deck, that one trashes this one, right? So then this one's effect will trigger and you'll trash 3 more. If you trash a second one of this guy, the second one won't trigger because you can't trigger it off of the same one. So that's basically how that works. You couldn't, because that would be like 9 mills in a row. Would be utterly insane. But still, very, very solid card. Really, really like that Impmon for this overall strategy. We got a new Devigermon here, 2 Evo cost, Retaliation, and then when attacking, you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck. That's not too bad for the overall strategy. I don't think it's really necessary though. In general, like, it's okay. It's awkward. Next we got Dobermon, which is actually pretty great. When you would play this card from your hand, reduce the play cost by 2 if you have an Alice in play, which is the tamer that we're going to get to in a minute. But on deletion, trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and then return 1 purple Digimon card or 1 purple tamer card from your trash to your hand. I really like this. most of the time you're probably going to just digivolve for 2 onto whatever. You know, if you hard play that Impmon or, you know, one of the other on play Impmons, you know, any of those, you can then digivolve this on top of those after they get their search or their whatever their on play effect was. Digivolve the Doberman on top. So as soon as the Doberman gets deleted, you get to, you know, mill 3 more cards and add something back. Purple Digimon or Purple Tamer, that's fantastic. Because if you trash your Ai and Mako, it sucks. You really don't want to do that. So being able to add those back off the Doberman is actually, you know, he surprisingly fits into the Impmon deck very well. We got a Mephistomon for level 5 here on play. 7 play cost, draw 2, then trash 2. 7 play cost is a lot. When attacking inheritable once per turn, you may trash 1 card in your hand to gain 1 memory. I mean, that's not bad. But the rest of it isn't that great there. I wouldn't want to play that guy for 7. Next, we got a Golfmon here. Very odd include, I think. 4 Evo cost, 12,000 DP. When digivolving, all players trash cards in their hand until they have 5 cards left. That's pretty brutal, depending on the deck you're going against. Your turn, once per turn, when one of your effects trashes a card in your hand, you may unsuspend one of your Digimon. So that's not too bad, because he can potentially unsuspend himself there. It's still not like overly incredible card. Next, we got a new Beelzemon here. Now, you notice no wings on this one or giant cannon, because this is a true level 6 Beelzemon. When this card is trashed from your deck, you may play 1 Impmon from your trash without paying its memory cost. If you saw our feature match with Beelzemon, it was pretty crazy. The Impmon, the original Impmon, swung in to security, died, milled 3, milled this guy, immediately played back that same Impmon, who then on the following turn swung and died again, revealed another Beelzemon, played that Impmon back a 3rd time. Oh man, it's so crazy. Really good stuff. And you get their on-play effects. So if you do want to use any of your on-play Impmons, combos fantastic with this Beelzemon. And then when digivolving and when attacking, not once per turn, mind you, you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck, then delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 to the maximum level of the Digimon you can choose with this effect. This deck is fantastic for almost every single deck in this entire game. Like, really, really solid board control. The only issue is that the Reaper deck that we're about to talk about has no levels. So that is very unfortunate that you do not get to pop those guys. Aside from that, like the whole Beelzemon deck is very cool and very well put together and thought out. Our first tamer is the Alice that we talked about a second ago. On play 2, so a 2 play cost, not too bad. Your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon would digivolve from level 5 to level 6, you may delete one of your Digimon to reduce the Digivolution cost by 3. So War Growlmon, this is great for the purple War Growlmon. You know, you Digiburst, bring out a rookie, then Evo that War Growlmon into a Mega, pop the rookie to, you know, reduce the Evo cost by 3, essentially making it probably free. Really cool stuff. We've seen this teched into Jesmon decks back when they would used to go into Savior. Savior would play a Sistermon for free and then use Alice to pop the Sistermon to go into the Jesmon for free, and then Jesmon can swing, you know, just bring the Sistermon right back again. Yeah, very abused card in the right circumstances, and only 2 play costs. Very easy to tech in. Next, we got Ai and Mako here. This is going to be your memory fixer for your Beelzemon deck. 4 play cost, always standard. Your turn, when you attack with a Digimon, you may suspend this tamer to trash the top card of your deck. Then, if the attacking Digimon is Beelzemon, you may digivolve it into a Beelzemon Blast mode in your trash for a Digivolution cost of 3. So very important to get these guys on field in a Blast mode here in trash as soon as possible. So normally a 6 Evo cost, but the idea is to digivolve for 3 using the tamer. So very, very efficient. 15,000 DP, very solid level 7 here. When this card is trashed from your deck, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. So very on par thematic with the whole rest of the strategy. Really dig that. And then when Digivolving, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the highest level. So again, another one very similar to the Iron Fisted Onslaught. You know, your opponent has like 3 level 6s on field. You get to pop all 3 level 6s at once. I like this one a little bit better than the Gallantmon, simply because in most matches, again, assuming you're not playing against D-Reaper, it's a lot easier for your opponent to have the same level on field than the same DP. They could have multiple, megas that all have different DP, but then this is just all megas, basically. So that's really cool. And then your turn, for every 10 cards in your trash, this Digimon gains security attack +1. If you saw the feature match, this guy swung in for like, 3 or 4 security checks? Absolutely insane. The deck can mill so much and fill your trash up so crazy fast. And then even if you do put something in trash that's important, there's multiple ways to get them back out. So yeah. Blast Mode, fantastic card for purple. I did skip over the option here in Death Slinger. 4 play cost option, removal option. When this card is trashed from your deck, gain 1. So that's really cool. Nice little, again, added side thing. The whole deck is about milling your deck to the trash. So for the whole deck basically to all have effects that trigger when they get milled, that's very cool. Then delete one of your opponent, so main effect, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. For every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 to the maximum level of the Digivolution Digimon that you can choose with this effect. So I mean, 10 cards in trash, boom, that's a level 5. 20 cards in trash, this deck can do that pretty quickly. By the time you need to delete a level 6, you can very easily have 20 cards in trash. And for 4 play cost, that's insane. Very efficient way to remove megas off field. Very cool stuff. Love this whole purple strategy. I cannot wait to play that deck. And then lastly, we're going to talk about Mother D-Reaper, and this stuff is nuts. Mother D-Reaper, this is your Digitama, your Digi-Egg, 15,000 DP. All turns, this Digimon can't attack and isn't affected by your opponent's effects. Ouch. So it can't attack, so that means it'll never be suspended. So your opponent, the only way for them to clear the D-Reaper is to swing over it while it's unsuspended. Yes, there are cards out there that can do that, so but they're very few and far between. And then main, once per turn, if you don't have another Mother D-Reaper in play, place one of your searchers in play or from your hand under this Digimon at the bottom of its Digivolution card. Your turn, once per turn, when you would play a card with D-Reaper in its traits from your hand, you may reduce the play cost by 1 for each of this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Oh, and that can get out of control real quick. So you're going to just keep putting searchers underneath this, which is what we're about to go into next here. I guess we'll talk about Calmon here. 3 play cost, 1,000 DP. When you would play this card from your hand, reduce its play cost by 2 if you have Guildmon, Terriermon, Renamon, or Impmon in play. So very thematic there, 1 play cost. But this Digimon can't attack. And then your turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory and draw 1 card, and have one of your Digimon get 3,000 DP for the turn. So he's like Bokomon for hybrids. He's just here to support. That's all he is. He's a support card for your themed decks. 1 play cost, not too bad there. It's a shame he can't attack. Like, I understand it, but it almost feels like a waste of a slot because he can't attack. But it's still a fantastic support card though, in general there. All right, now getting on to the D-Reaper stuff, we got Searchers. You can include up to 50 copies of this card in your deck. So just like the Eosmon, the level 5 Eosmon, same kind of stuff here. You can have a ton of copies of this. When you would play this card from your hand, reduce its play cost by 2 if you don't have a Searcher in play. So what you can do is 1 play cost Searcher, on play, draw 1, and then absorb it underneath your Mother D-Reaper, your Digitama there, and then you can play another Searcher for 1 again. and draw another card. Now this card can't attack players either. It can attack other Digimon. It only has 1000 DP, but the inheritable here, all your other Digimon with D Reaper in their traits get 1000 DP, so this can actually get kind of beefy. You can play these searchers out, and they can actually surprisingly get a little bit beefy on the field, so you can actually attack over your opponent's Digimon, at least, with your searchers. So pretty terrifying stuff here. Next we got Pendulum Feet, 3 play cost, 3000 DP, essentially a rookie. On play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 D Reaper in its traits, and 1 Searcher among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards on the bottom of your deck. So this is going to be, funny enough, this is a Searcher card, in the fact that you can add a D Reaper and a Searcher. Kind of weird and awkward, like how that worked out. Like, Searcher draws you cards, but Pendulum Feet also searches you cards. Yeah, I don't know. I find it amusing. Next, we got Bubbles here. Kind of another rookie. 3 play cost, 3000 DP. Security Digimon. You may place one of your searchers from in play or from your hand under one of your Mother D Reapers as its bottom Digivolution cards. So this is another way to get more searchers underneath your Mother D Reaper. So you just build your Mother D Reaper up as fast as possible. You want as many searchers underneath the Mother D Reaper as fast as possible. And then on play, you may place one of your searchers from your from in play or from hand under one of your Mother D Reapers as its bottom Digivolution cards. So say you play out a searcher for 1 play cost, draw 1, absorb it. Play out another searcher for 1 play cost, draw a card. Then you can play out the Bubbles here. Since the Mother D Reaper own effect can only absorb once per turn, then you've got to use your other cards to then force the searchers underneath the Mother D Reaper. God, that's so awkward to say. So yeah, you're basically going to get the 1 freebie searcher every single turn underneath, and then you're going to use all your other cards to add more searchers underneath the Mother D Reaper. And then Jerry is another way to do that. So 5 play costs. Now remember, at this point, you should have multiple sources underneath your Mother D Reaper, multiple searchers. And then for every one of those, you can reduce the play cost. So you can reduce this Jerry down to like a 2 play cost very, very easily. And then you may suspend this Digimon to reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Place 1 searcher among them. Under one of your Mother D Reapers. Place the remaining cards on the bottom. So then Jerry is another source to add more searchers underneath your Mother D Reaper. Now we're going to get into why this is so important in a bit here. Next we got Creep Hands here. While you have a Mother D Reaper in play, he's a blocker. 6000 DP, 5 play cost blocker. That's pretty run-of-the-mill there. Nothing too crazy. Then we got Pallet's Head here, so 6 play cost, only 3000 DP. If you have a Mother D Reaper in play, you may suspend this Digimon to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this Digimon's DP. This is a really good card for like mid-game when your Mother D Reaper has like 6 cards underneath it. You can play this guy for free using Mother D Reaper's ability, and then he's at 9000 DP. Then you can use his effect to pop something on the field. Not too bad. Now we got Horn Striker here. He has Rush, so 7 play cost. He's not the best. I think out of all the ones I've seen played, this one usually gets cut from the deck entirely, simply because he's not really our win con here. Now he is, he's okay when you can get him out there for free every once in a while. But yeah, he's okay. He's not the best. I think the Reaper card is just better, and you just rather run the Reaper every time. Next, we got Optimizer here. So 10 play cost, 9000 DP on play and when attacking once per turn. So you can't combine that. You can't. It doesn't have Rush anyway, so it's not like you could do it the same turn. But if one of your Mother D Reapers has 5 or more Digivolution cards, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. You may play 1 card with D Reaper in its traits, and a play cost of 10 or less among them without paying its memory cost, playing the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck. So this is like just a freebie, play something. It's okay. This is another one that I've seen played in very few quantities, just here and there, like a 2 of. It's not like overall incredible. It's not forcing more searchers underneath the Mother D Reaper, so I think that's like one of the reasons it doesn't get played that much, and it doesn't help like keep you alive, right? It's not like that in that regard. You know, yeah, you could maybe play a blocker off of it, or I could just play a blocker, you know, instead of the optimizer entirely. Next we have Gatekeeper, and this card is stupid. This is what really makes this deck kind of busted in a way. This is the card. This, like, Reaper is good. This card is what makes the deck possible, though. Without this card, I don't think the deck is even playable. Security, play this card without battling and without paying its memory cost. Then on play, if you have a Mother D Reaper in play, Recovery 1. I've seen a lot of like security control decks and yellow hybrid decks that don't use their Digitama slots. They'll put in the Mother D Reaper, and they'll put a Mother D Reaper into play, and then so as soon as this Gatekeeper comes online, you know, you can just get free recovery off of it. And then opponent's turn, while you have a Mother D Reaper with 6 or more Digivolution cards in play, all of your opponent's Digimon gain security attack -1. That's so huge. Like, that is insanely powerful of an effect. Your whole blanket field. You get multiple Gatekeepers on field, because remember, they hit out of security for free, and they recover as soon as they do, so they just replace themselves in security with something else, and then give -2 security attack to the whole opponent's field. This card is like a game ender. Like, you've got to clear the Gatekeepers off field. As soon as the Gatekeeper hits, if they're immediately live with the Mother D Reaper having 6 or more cards, you got to clear them off. Especially if the Mother D Reaper is at 6, because once it hits 7, the Reaper comes online, and this card is terrifying. So normally 20 play cost, 15,000 DP. When you would play this Digimon, you may trash 7 or more Digivolution cards from the bottom of one of your Mother D Reapers to reduce this Digimon's play cost to 0. He has Rush, so he can immediately attack with 15,000 DP. Now, also, when attacking, you may place 2 Searchers from your trash under this Digimon in any order as its Digivolution cards to unsuspend this Digimon. Now remember, if you're playing 2 underneath it, he immediately goes up to 17,000 DP because these inheritables of these Searchers immediately bump him up to 17,000 DP, which Wyvern's Breath can't even take this guy down at this point. And then he's going to unsuspend and attack, unsuspend and attack. If you're trashing 7 cards, that's going to be, what is that? 3 unsuspends. If you trash, you know, 8 cards, that's 4 unsuspends. That's clearing 5 things on field. I mean, and you're going to have a whole field of stuff like that's been holding off the opponent at this point. You're gonna have a whole field of stuff. So Reaper is just a absolute game-ending card. Once you have 7 or more, okay. So it's like a countdown almost. As the Mother D Reaper builds and builds and builds, you going against Mother D Reaper, like, okay, I'm on a ticking time clock here. Once they are hit 6, I have to worry about Gatekeeper. Gatekeeper is terrifying. But once I hit 7, I basically am about to lose. Once there's 7, I could lose it at any point. So yeah, it's just very much, and that's what all these cards are all about. We're just forcing Searchers as fast as possible underneath the Mother D Reaper to build her up with as much inheritables as possible, as quickly as possible, while we search out our game-ending pieces here. And the very last card we're going to talk about is the blue card. They included it. I'm very excited. I wish they also included the red card, but I will take the blue card. So 3 play cost. While you have a Tamer in play, you can use it without meeting its color requirements. That's really cool. Main, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. You may Digivolve one of your Digimon into 1 non-white Digimon card among them to your hand without paying its memory cost. So essentially it is a 3 cost Evo. But if you don't, you can add 1 Digimon card among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of your deck in any order. So this is kind of a neat card. 1, you can just play this for 3 and reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. If you don't have any Digimon on field, you can just add any Digimon. Like a reveal 5, add any Digimon card to your hand. That's pretty solid. Yeah. This card is really cool. I definitely expect to see some sort of use out of this. If you are relying on it, though, that could be a little bit of an issue. Like my level 3 or my level 5 here, I really need to get into my Mega. You know, it's a bit of a Hail Mary of play the blue card. I really need to see my level 6 here. If I don't see my level 6, I lose. Like, that feels bad. But it is still a very interesting and very, very powerful card. Loving this set. I cannot wait to get my hands on it and start playing it in person.